First and foremost, hi everyone. Do we notice anything different? Do we notice anything different? Your girl got her braces off. No more train tracks. Woo! I'm so excited. Life update, but no more braces. We're so excited. Yay! It's weird. I'm still getting used to them. I'm still getting used to them, but yay! Ah! That's not what we're here for, though. Maybe a little bit, but I digress. Okay. So, probably going to be a very short video, but we have been talking quite a bit about communication and what that looks like in leadership. And this can really go for, you know, at work, at home. If you have any type of leadership position, this can really fit in anywhere. And when we're talking about communication, and knowing our team or whoever we're leading, the people even in our household, we need to know the people that we're talking to. And I'm not just meaning like on a basic level, but like how do they respond? What types of communication styles do they respond to? And first and foremost, do you know your communication style as a leader? And then do you know the communication style that your team or whoever you're leading responds to? And not everybody is going to be the same. And that does not mean that just because you have a certain communication style that you need to be somebody completely different. But it does mean that you have to be able to adjust. It does mean that you have to be able to be able to adapt to somebody else's communication style, especially if you are having some type of corrective conversation, behavioral conversation, because not everybody is going to respond to everything. And when we are communicating our message, we are not in control of how somebody else is going to receive it, but we can do all that we can to ensure that the way that we communicate our message, that it's received in the best way possible. And so the way that we do that is understanding the types of communication styles people respond to. So if you have somebody on your team who is very personable and needs that human touch and likes the greetings in the morning and likes to be able to check in on people and is, kind of just the life of the team. They really enjoy just having those personal connections, knowing a lot about people, knows everybody's birthdays. They know they're planning the holiday parties, those types of people who really have those really super genuine personal connections. And, say you need to have a conversation with them and you are someone who has a more of a direct communication style. So you're someone who likes to kind of get down to business. I have that type of communication style. I'm very analytical. I'm data oriented. Give me the facts, give me the numbers, so then we can kind of rehash everything out. And if we've got time, then we can have fun at that point. I mean, not that I don't like to have fun, but let's get down to business. But also, if I'm talking to my team member who needs that personal touch, and I need to check in with them or I need to have a corrective conversation about them, and I pull them aside and say, hey, so and so da da da, and I just start running down these different aspects of what I need to talk to them about before even checking in on them, they can view that as a slight. They might not even hear a word that I say because they're like, whoa, she came in hot. came in hot and heavy, just didn't even ask how I was doing, didn't check in on me. She doesn't even know that I've got personal things going on. And if she would have stopped for 2 minutes to ask, I would have been able to even shed light on why I might be down today, or maybe I'm not myself today. But me not being a cognizant leader and just kind of going in with my own personal communication style, not thinking about how what this person needs from me, can really, my message can get lost in translation because I didn't stop to think how she would receive my message and what communication style will get that message across. But if I rewind the tape and I'm like, I know that Sally Sue that needs that personal touch. And she really enjoys starting our conversations with, checking in about the family. And I know her daughter just got married. And, I know she's got her vacation she's planning next week. And I know she said she's got some other personal things going on. So I'm going to start my conversation with that. And then then I'll lead in with my other points. So I'm going to bring Sally Sue in and I'm going to say, hey, Sally Sue, how are you doing today? Didn't you say that your daughter graduated last week? How did that go? Was their family in town? That's amazing. What are her next steps? Has she decided on if she's going to grad school or if she's going to travel abroad for a year? And, you said that you've got your vacation, everything's in order, you got your PTO in. Good. I want to make sure that you have no problem getting out of here. That break is deserved. I can't wait for you to get some time off. You deserve it. And lastly, I know that you said you've had some personal things going on. You said your husband was in the hospital. And I noticed today that you were a little down and out. And so I'm concerned. I have a couple things I want to talk to you about, but before I do any of that, my concern is making sure that you're well. And is there anything we need to kind of talk about it or work through before we kind of talk about some other things? And give her an opportunity to talk about what could possibly be going on in the moment. So then if she needs to say, you know what, actually, he's not doing well and we're really scared and the doctors are saying this, that. And so my mind's kind of been in a different place. And yes, I am feeling down. And maybe she needs some extra time maybe she needs that time to go home and attend to her husband. Or maybe she needs 15 minutes to step away to just take a breath so she can get herself together and kind of refocus and get back to the day. But I won't know that if I don't take that time to have that conversation with her. But I also might have Jim on my team who is kind of that bull. He is a straight shooter and cut the butter. Don't come to him with the fluff. Don't come to him with the rah shish kumbah. Give it to him straight and tell him what he's doing right, tell him what he's doing wrong. Basically, tell him that he sucks. And that's what's going to motivate him to do well. And so if I'm more of that person who could still be that analytical person. So maybe I'm going to come up to Jim and say, hey, Jim, so, I see that I've got this data and da-da-da-da-da. And I start in with my kind of more fluffier conversation that's filled with all of this data. He might appreciate that on some level, but I really need to pare that down to facts for facts. What is it? This is what it is. This is how we need to fix it so we can have this outcome. This is how I need to how I need to approach my conversation with Jim. Or maybe I have somebody who's just like me, a little bit more on the analytical side. So, we're just going to go in. Hey, how you doing? Great, great. So we have a meeting today. Yes, we do. We've got this on the agenda. We're going to talk about this, and this. So let's get right to it. We're typing. Let's da 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 da. We're doing the whole thing. Okay, so we've got that done. So what's up with you, girl? Yeah, good. Family's good. Great, awesome. What are you doing this weekend? I'm doing this, that. So all of that to say is that we really have to be mindful of who we have on our team. And again, I'm saying team, but apply that to wherever you lead people, in your home, in the office, at church, in sports, wherever. If you've got people you influence, you are a leader. And so if you don't know that, get to know the people that you are impacting, because those are going to make the world of a difference. Because sometimes as leaders, especially if our communication styles are on the opposite ends of the spectrum from somebody we're communicating with, I mean, we can really, really do a lot of damage, and we can start to, what's the word I'm looking for? We can start to just cause a lot of damage and break trust. That's what I mean. We can start to break trust. We can start to create, a lot of damage in those relationships that will need a lot of repair. And sometimes we don't get the opportunity to spend that time repairing those relationships. And ends up being where maybe this person leaves this team, maybe this person leaves the company, and the impression that we leave on them is that they left with a traumatic experience. And the book that I'm still currently reading, Shrinking the Integrity Gap, with Jeff and Tara Matson, talks a lot about how, the wake that we're leaving, our leadership wake. What kind of wake are we leaving? What kind of, I want to say legacy. What are we leaving? What kind of condition are we leaving people in when they've experienced us as leaders? And so, I was at a conference. Was it a conference that I heard this at? Maybe a conference. I just heard it last year that you gain trust in drops, but you lose it in buckets. And I'm a very visual person, so I immediately saw that visual. I think about the people that I trust the most outside of my family, and I think about the many conversations that we've had, the many opportunities that we've worked together, we've collaborated together, that bit drops have gone into the bucket that have added to trusting these individuals. And then how in an instant, maybe we say something a little bit off the cuff. Maybe we say something we didn't think it through. Maybe we do something, and it's like kicking that bucket over, and it's starting from square one all over again. And can you imagine what that looks like? We also talk about in the ELP program, putting in those emotional deposits in the bank. And so when you need to make a withdrawal, like, do you have enough? Have you deposited enough in that person when you need to make a withdrawal? So maybe you need an ask. Maybe you need to ask them to do something. Maybe there is an instance where there is a little bit of an injustice or a misunderstanding or something. Is there enough of an emotional deposit into this person where there is still some trust there? Or there's no emotional deposit. There's no positive deposits in the bank with this person. So when essentially you wrong them, you ask them to do something, it's like trying to withdraw money that's not in the account. It's like insufficient funds. And they're like looking at you like, I'm not doing that. They might do it because, a lot of people don't want to be insubordinate, but will they be happy about it? No. Will they want to do it? No. But if you are a leader who is making those emotional and positive deposits in their bank, taking the time to learn their communication styles, what's meaningful to them, what they value, what they desire, what drives them, what motivates them, then little by little, you're adding drops into the bucket. You're depositing into the bank. And so there are times you are going to make a withdrawal. You are absolutely going to make a withdrawal, especially if you are new to leadership. Okay. You're going to make a withdrawal. Okay. And you want there to be enough cushion there where they're like, you know what? That was out of character for Tiffany, or I know I've never had this experience with Tiffany, but what I know of her, she might have had an outburst, or I know she's stressed or something like that, or she's asking me to do this, stay longer. This man asking me to do 2 more hours here and telling me it's mandatory. But because I know her, I know that she would never ask me to do this unless she really needed me to, and I trust her, I'll do it. And so we have a choice. We don't want to just be stomping around, throwing our weight around, bull in the china shop because we can. And, it's not just about, it's like, don't think about being a bull in a china shop just because you might have a stronger personality. Just even being like a bull in a china shop by making people adhere to your style. No, everybody has to bend the knee to me. Everybody has to conform around me. This is a unit. This should be a cohesive unit. And so how do we create a village? How do we start to create a village, a cohesive unit where people are being nurtured and poured into, and know that if anybody genuinely cares about their future, their success here, it's me. And so I'm going to leave it there. I just wanted to share that with you. And my name is Tiffany. If this is the first time you're joining me, where on this channel we are learning to lead ourselves well so we can serve others better. This is a faith-based channel, but I do talk about universal leadership concepts. So I feel like anybody can, if you are interested in leadership, whether you've been leading for 30 seconds or 30 years, there is something that you can get from this channel. And hopefully you're enjoying it. Please feel free to check out some of my other videos. Please like, share, and subscribe. Stay with us. Stay on this journey. It's fun over here. We're having a good time. I do share, leadership concepts, but also you might get a little edification. You might get a little evangelism. You might get a little encouragement, whatever it might be. But I hope you enjoy it, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.